Alrighty, what is quacking, everyone? Today I'm here to bring you the L-3D build. I was super excited when this weapon came out and was released with the splat bomb and the hammer. Hammer is great, even though it's basically underwhelming currently in Splatoon 3. But I still love the special though. Burst bomb combo with this weapon is fantastic. Very good overall. I just think it's a great weapon. It's a fantastic weapon. So I'm gonna hit you with some builds and what game modes I think this weapon is actually gonna be useful on. And I think it's gonna be very useful on zones if you're playing very aggressive and you just want to paint the zone and get in there, be aggressive with the hammer, deny them entry to the zone. Fantastic for that. Also Rainmaker, fantastic for Rainmaker. You can use the hammer to pop it. You got burst bombs to apply some pressure. Fantastic overall. And clams as well. Clams is just an aggressive game mode in general, so this weapon great. You can use the hammer to approach their basket, get in there, just really be up in their face. However, I do not think this weapon is good on towers because hammer is meh on towers. Honestly, I would just prefer the vanilla version of this weapon for towers because that way my super can cover tower easier. Hammer is meh for towers, but overall still a fantastic weapon for 3 out of the 4 game modes. Alright, so the first build I'm going to hit you with is Intensified Action Ninja Squid Stealth Jump. For the most part, this entire build, I use Stealth Jump for all my builds for this weapon, but you can swap it out with, you know, whatever you feel more comfortable with. If you're not, you know, jumping in a lot, swap it out for the Intensified Action, maybe put Comeback for the head and then Intensified Action for the shoes. But I personally would just run Stealth Jump through and through everything. And you know, you have your 2 subs of sub power up, which increases its range, which is very good for burst bombs, allows you to apply a lot of pressure and add more range to your burst bombs. If you hit people and then you just need to get that one burst bomb in and they're just a little out of your range, your burst bomb is most likely going to hit them and kill them. And then just a bunch of swim speed to, you know, keep up with the Ninja Squid. This is a normal weight weapon, so it's a little bit heavier, not a lightweight weapon. So you gotta add some swim speed to that Ninja Squid if you want to be able to keep up swimming around, so you can actually feel a little fast, because this is an aggressive weapon after all. So you want to feel somewhat fast, and if you're sharking with Ninja Squid and just trying to be stealthy, you're going to need some swim speed to compensate for that. Now, the one thing I want to point out with Intensify Action is this jump shot is incredibly inaccurate. If you're jumping around and shooting, for the most part with this weapon, you're going to stay grounded when you're moving around and shooting. But if you're going to be jumping, and I'm a person who jumps a lot, it's not that good. Like for certain weapons, it's not that good to be jumping around a lot. This weapon specifically, but if you are jumping around a lot like I do, Intensified Action is really good. It reduces the jump shot spread from 6 to 2.9. So it's very helpful overall. Now, if you don't really want to run the Ninja Squid and you want to just move very fast, this is something else that you can just run 1 main of swim speed with 2 subs. It's very nice, very fast, very mobile. You go up to 2.14, and also with Sub Saver, you'll be able to hold onto that hammer a lot longer for the, you know, 35.39%, you know, special loss when splatted. So overall, this is very good as well if you're not running Ninja Squid. But you know, it's great. Either or is very good. I will probably swap back and forth depending on, you know, what I'm doing for the most part, but I still like my Ninja Squid. Swim speed is also very fantastic if you just love moving around and flying around as well. Now, earlier I did say you're going to want to stay grounded with this weapon, and that's why putting run speed on this weapon is also very solid as well, because you'll get more run speed while you're shooting, so you'll be able to strafe easier and shoot, along with when you're just running over certain obstacles like I believe Rainmaker on Scorch. There's the uninkables that you can walk over, very useful for that as well, so you can just walk. And other uninkables that you have to walk over, like on Mincemeat as well in the center. So run speed very good, especially when you're staying grounded and you're shooting all the time. That this is very good for just strafe shotting and just, you know, being able to move back and forth and avoid your enemy's shots while just staying grounded. And also something that I forgot to mention earlier is that your squid surge charge takes less time to build as well with Intensify Action. So that's another thing you can keep in mind, is when you're approaching through walls and just trying to, you know, squid surge through them. That's something to keep in mind as well. Now, here's a comeback build that I think is very useful because obviously aggressive weapon and you're dying, you need to come back, you need to get in there. Obviously, we all know the effects of comeback, and if you don't, it's plus swim speed and special charge up when you come back from death, along with some other things. But those are the two big things that are very good with comeback, and just swim speed. And because I feel like intensify action is very valuable on this weapon, running some subs of intensify action, which reduces it down to 2.74. Now, one thing to note with this many subs of IA compared to the just one main of it, which is on the left side, which is 2.95, it's a little bit of an increase, but I still feel like it might slightly make a difference. It depends. Certain things that have a little minute increase in this game sometimes feel either really good or just have no significant difference whatsoever. So that's where I feel like it depends on what you want to run. If you're running this and you have all this intensify action, you could sacrifice some of these subs to replace them with some more swim speed, or just maybe if you want ink recovery, you can put that in as well. Personal preference, I would prefer more swim speed than all of this intensify action. But overall, I think this is very solid. The one thing that I will say about having all this intensify action, though, is it does have 2 off of the build time from your squid charge from 25 to 23 from the previous, just a single pure of intensify action, and you're just at 2 for swim speed. So overall, very solid, nice comeback. You're just coming back in there. You have quicker surge build up, less shot degrees while jumping. Very solid overall. Now for the last build I'm going to cover, it's just a main and sub of intensify action with swim speed and special saver, with obviously your sub power up and your utilities. Again, you can swap stealth jump for something like drop roller, special charge if you want your hammer up more, swap it out for IA and put comeback, however you feel comfortable with what you want to build. But for the most part, this is just very solid overall. And with the IA, this is probably the most bang for your buck for intensify action. It's just a main and a sub, because it drops down to 2.64, which I feel like is a huge gain compared to just running all the subs of intensify action. And then you have pretty solid swim speed and movement overall. Again, you're probably going to stay grounded for the most part. I'm focusing more on intensified action, but if you're not focusing on intensified action, then run speed, swim speed, and staying mobile while grounded is very solid for this weapon overall. Alright, that's going to do it with the builds. I put all the builds up on the screen for recommendations. These are just what I recommend and what I would personally run. Again, there's a whole multitude of things that you can run because of how deep this game is. You can take off intensify action, put just run speed on, so you could have, let's say for the head you have comeback, then the shirt you have swim speed, and then the shoes you have run speed if you don't want to run stealth jump. So there's a lot of moving parts that you can move around with this build to make it fit how you want to play. I jump around a lot, so I focus a lot on intensify action for here, but this is just what I would recommend if you're jumping around a lot, because if you do jump, you have a little bit of an extra range as well. But this is what I recommend. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.